Okay, so if I had to sum up today's video for Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode 5, I would say it was pretty solid. It reminded me of Power Rangers episode 3 when we had Zoe trying to save the forest. This time Devon was trying to wash cars because his dad wanted him to do that. But I do feel like we got a little bit of a touch from something we see from Time Force. That I will elaborate on. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, then make sure you watch until the end of the video. Hello Internet, it's AndrewMycol and welcome to today's Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode review. And in today's review, we are reviewing Power Rangers episode 5. So, if you're into these episode reviews and you want to see what I officially give this episode in terms of a ranking, then make sure you stay until the end of the video, and also make sure you like and subscribe so that way you don't miss any new episodes that we do. So, let's get into today's video. So, we started this off at a car wash place because Devon, his dad, is trying to give Devon a job. And reason with that is that Devon's dad doesn't know that Devon is the Red Ranger, and so because Devon's dad is a mayor, he wants Devon to be something. So he starts him out of a car wash, and he says, you know, I used to work at a car wash, and because of that, he wants Devon to do that as well and get someplace to start. So Devon works at Sudsy's car wash. And so then we go to the cyber dimension and see what all the evil people are up to. And so Evox says he needs more Morphex, nothing different there. And then Blaze has an idea to make a big robot. And so what we see here is that Blaze thinks if they get a big enough robot, they can somehow destroy Grid Battle Force and get more Morphex. That way they will have a tougher time trying to stop these people trying to get these Morphex. I am losing my mind. I'm sorry. And so we also find out that there's a general working for Grid Battle Force, and the general has kids. And guess who the general's kids are? Ben and Betty. That's right. Commander Shaw goes and tells Zoe and Ravi that if they go around collecting really big bots, really big used parts, then they can get a lot of information from those pieces, and hopefully we might be able to get a MegaZord coming soon. Hopefully we will, hopefully we don't. And so then we have a Slicer drone who is the evil monster of the week created by Blaze, who sticks his little thumb drive in to a blade, and that's how we get our Slicer drone. And so we also have Devon takes off his watch, so he can't hear that Ravi and Zoe need to fight the drone. So while Devon is working at the car wash, he can't hear that Zoe and Ravi are having to fight this Slicer drone by themselves. And so they're in a little bit of trouble. Then we obviously go into a break, because you know how people are and all these companies and all these TV shows. Something you think dramatic might happen, you come back and of course it's not dramatic at all. Something good happens. So it's like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Okay, I need to make sure I stick around for the 7 minutes and see what happens. Just like with this video. Anyways, the battle starts between the Blue and Yellow Ranger versus the Kick-It. We saw that. And then Devon, for some reason, looks at his watch after he gets done washing the car he was washing. And he's like, oh my goodness, I need to go save Ravi and Zoe. So he runs off, literally, and beats up Blaze and the Slicer drone. But then Blaze has to disappear. And then Devon says he has to go back to work because he was on a lunch break. And so, of course, when Devon goes back, he apologizes to Sudsy and says, hey man, I'm sorry. I know you're the boss, but I had to go. I had an emergency. And then Sudsy, for some reason, doesn't understand what an emergency is. Neither does Devon's dad, because later in the episode, well, I'll get to that. But Sudsy was telling him, you know, if you're going to work here, you need to be here to actually work here. And he said if you take one more emergency break, then he's going to get fired. But if you have an emergency, then why would it matter? But anyways, so Zoe and Ravi help out Devon with washing the cars, because Devon, for some reason, has to juggle between a car and something else. And so Devon then has to wash the cars. But then while Devon, Zoe, and Ravi are washing the cars, Blaze sneaks up to where they had their watches laid around, and they destroyed them using the Slicer drone, and they destroyed it. And so then the Rangers see that Blaze had destroyed their morphers and everything, and so then whenever the Slicer drone gets gigafied, they can't fight him because they can't morph up. But then something interesting happened. So when the Rangers did not have their morphers, Commander Shaw went up to them and said, you guys need to morph up. So for some reason she was able to transport the some kind of thing, and they were somehow still able to morph up, which is kind of weird. But then I guess that's the same thing with the Beast Blasters. They can somehow transmit the data to them, so that way they can morph up regardless of if they have the morpher or not. But that kind of confuses me. Like, if you're going to destroy the morphers, why would you then need the morphers if they can then just transport the emergency data, I guess. But anyways, this is something I kind of saw confusing me a little bit. The Rangers go and fight Blaze in the Gigadrone, and then the mayor starts running around and starts driving around, and he sees the Rangers. He gets out of his car and he says, Rangers. Zoe and Ravi are fighting the Gigadrone, and then a Slicer throws one of his little blades, and a little girl starts running around, and she sees the blade and just stands there and just screams, and it's like classic horror movie. Of course, if anyone sees anything scary, instead of keep running away, they just stand there and take it, and I'm like, why? What is the point of that? And of course, we go to our second break. How not ironic at all. And then when we get back from our break, Devon zooms in and saves a little girl from the blade that was going around. And then when they see that the Gigadrone was going around, Devon then goes and sees and tries to fight the Gigadrone, but he can't do it himself. And so another interesting thing we saw was that Zoe and Ravi did not get into Jax and Gorillas to go help Devon. What they did was Jax and Gorillas themselves went and morphed into their Zords, and they were able to then blast in with Devon and help take down the Gigadrone. And so Zoe and Ravi take down the robot, and the robot lost all of its power and collapsed without an explosion, meaning that they were able to salvage the big Gigadrone and be able to salvage his parts. And then when they get to the end of the episode, Devon gets a call from the mayor, and he says, "Son, I am disappointed in you. I can't believe you got fired from the car wash place." And so he's like, "Man, I'm so disappointed." And then you see this little TV in the background saying that the mayor is proud of the Power Rangers, and he said, and then you get this little moment like we saw in Time Force where the mayor or the big boss man find out that his son is the Red Ranger. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you can't believe that he's doing it. And of course, the mayor is, going to be sort of shocked and surprised, being mad and being like, "Why are you doing this? You can't be doing this. This is so dangerous." And then at the end of the episode, he's like, "Yeah, you're a cool dude. You're a cool, I'm proud of you, son, for being a ranger," kind of thing, like we got from Time Force. The mayor obviously applauds the heroism of the Rangers, and he does not know the identities of the Rangers. He just knows that there are Rangers that are out there. He doesn't know who they are. So we get to the end of the episode. So here's what I think about this episode. It did remind me, like I said, about episode 3 where we got Zoe trying to fix her bikes and we got all that. But this time we ended the episode differently because it did have that shade of Time Force with this episode. We have this father wanting to be proud of his son, and so he tries everything in his power to make something out of his son, but then the son actually turns and does something pretty cool that not many people can do. And then his father, if he ever finds out about his identity, is going to get mad, but then in the other half of the episode, he's going to be proud of him eventually. So that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a pretty interesting thing to see with that. So overall, what do I think about this episode? I think that it is a pretty solid episode. Nothing really spectacular. Honestly, it was pretty good. I mean, when we got the whole car washing thing dynamic and him trying to be a good son to his father, trying to make something out of himself, we do get this huge Time Force feel to this episode because you get the Rangers who are trying to do something to help save the world from evil and Evox, and then we do get that shade of Time Force where it's like the mayor doesn't know that Devon is the Red Ranger, and because of that, you got that little mystery thing going in, and really, that's just really cool. And where would I rank this? I would probably put it in the middle of where episode 3 and episode 4 is, right there in the, well, I would actually put it a little higher than episode 3, because we did get that Devon and his father dynamic. We did get a little bit of story with that, but at the same time, it's got a very interesting thing that we'll see till next time. And with Nate and Commander Shaw being able to start collecting these robots, and with the General, it does make it seem like episode 6 could be really cool, and maybe then we'll get the MegaZord, but I doubt that. So overall, I'm probably going to give this episode probably a 4. I mean, it's up there with episode 1, but not as up there. but it was still better than episode 3. And episode 3 was kind of alright. In episode 2, of course, it made us understand what the animals were doing, but at the same time, I do feel like episode 5 does further the storyline of Devon and his father, just like in episode 4, where we got to see Ravi and Roxy have their own episode of their love antics. So I do like it. Every episode we get something different with each ranger. So maybe we'll get a Zoe featured episode. If we do, that'll be really cool. But honestly, there wasn't anything too surprising, but it was pretty solid. So overall, I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Comment down below if you liked Power Rangers, or if you're liking the episode or the season so far of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. And until next time, I'm AndrewMycol, and I'll see you guys next time. Thumbs up.